Hello scholars, in this video we will go over how to use the properties of slope-intercept form to graph a linear equation, and then how to transform that equation into the equation of a parallel line and then a perpendicular line, and then graph those lines as well. Those were the assignments for December 9th and December 10th. So we begin with an equation in what is called slope-intercept form. It has the form y equals some number times x plus or minus some other number. And this number, the second one that's by itself, positive or negative, gives us the y-intercept. That is the place on the y-axis, which is vertical, where the graph of that line will cut across that axis. So the first step in graphing the equation is to locate that point. It's positive 2, so we start at the origin, 0, 0, and we hop up 2 jumps, and we put our first point right here. So that's our y-intercept. The number -3 is our slope. In order to use slope to graph, we turn it into an equation. So -3 equals we turn it into a fraction. -3 equals -3 over 1. -3 gives us the rise, the up and down movement. 1 gives us the run, the movement to the right. So because it's -3, we start at this point and we go down 3 hops, 1, 2, 3. Because it's 1, which will always be positive, we go to the right 1 space. So the second point of our line is here, down 3 over 1. We do that same process from this point, down 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. So that gives us 3 points, which is an adequate starting point for a graph. And we just draw as straight a line as we can through them, adding arrows at the end to show that the line extends to infinity. So that's how we use slope-intercept form to graph a line that is in, an equation that is in that particular form. So our next task then is to transform this equation into 2 other equations. One that will give us a parallel line, a line that lies beside this one like a railroad track and never meets it, and another line that is perpendicular, which will cut across it at right angles. So in order to get a parallel line, all we do is change the y-intercept. It can be any other number. Pick anything you want as long as it's not +2, not the same, and it fits on your graph. So for ours, let's go with -3. So we're going to rewrite the equation just with -3 in place of +2. Bring down the y, bring down the equal sign, bring down the -3 or -3x. So we have this equation, y equals -3x minus 3. So then we go ahead and we graph that. Now -3 is our y-intercept. So again, we go to our y-axis and we go to the -3 and put our first point there. Because the graph ends at -5, we have to approach using the slope to graph it a little differently. Our slope is still -3 over 1, but we're going to have to reverse it. Instead of going down 3 and over 1, we're going to have to reverse that process and go to the left 1 and up 3. Same slope, which we can see if we just reverse the process I just did. If we use this point, we go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Gives us the slope of the line. I've done it correctly. These 2 lines then are parallel, clumsily drawn, but again, like railroad tracks, we assume they'll extend to infinity and never meet. Okay, so now we're going to do a second transformation. Leave the equations on your paper, don't erase them please. But we're going to rewrite this equation to give us a line that will be perpendicular at right angles to that line. So perpendicular means at right angles to something else. So how do we do that? This time we have to change the slope. We have to take its negative reciprocal, which means flipping over the fraction and changing its sign. So again, a slope of -3 is equal to -3 over 1. We're going to transform that by flipping the fraction over. It's going to be 1 over 3, but we're going to change the negative to a positive, so we just don't write it. So our new slope is 1 over 3. We're going to rewrite this same equation with 1 over 3 in place of -3 for the slope. Bring down the y, bring down the equal sign. In place of -3, we're going to write 1/3 x plus 2. Now we're going to go ahead and graph this. Our y-intercept is, again, the point 2. We're back here for the y-intercept, but our slope is 1/3. That's 1 up and over 3. So we'll start here, 1 up, 3 over, 1 up, 3 over. Goes off my graph, but we can still do it. And we've got a line that is perpendicular to the original line. So again, this is your assignment. You were to do this with the equation that I gave you on December 9th, to produce 2 more lines, 2 more equations on December 10th. Let's get together if you have questions. Thank you.